So one thing I love about New York is how tough it makes you. Like, things that would completely freak out normal people don't even faze New Yorkers. One time I came down in my apartment into the kitchen and saw a mouse in my frying pan just hanging out. And I remember thinking, at least it's not a rat.
Sometimes people are like, why'd you move back to New York? And I was like, I don't know. I just really love the ambiance and like there's such a charm to the city, you know?
One of those cliches about the city that sounds like an exaggeration but is actually just true is the quantity and size and brazenness of the rats, particularly on the subway. Like, remember Pizza Rat? The rat who became YouTube famous for carrying a full pizza slice down the subway stairs? He was not afraid of anything. We should all try to be more like Pizza Rat. But the rats I want to talk about today are not subway rats, but the ones that live above ground. The ones that eat our food and scamper across our tables and maybe even give us deadly rat diseases. These are the ones whose population may be booming in part due to the popularity of outdoor dining in New York, one of the silver linings of this god-awful pandemic.
I really do love eating outside, but today was too cold for that. Our move to eating outdoors during the COVID-19 pandemic, however, means that more and more New Yorkers are spending time in places where rats have recently hung out. Rat complaints to the city are up 40% this year compared to 2019. And there have been 15 cases so far of leptospirosis, which is a disease that in cities is typically spread by rats, including one case that was fatal. So you can be infected if you have direct contact with urine or other body fluids of the infected animal. And most everyone that was infected in New York had some environmental exposure to heavily rat-infested areas. But still, we've had way more cases in 2021 than previous years. And there's many factors driving this population boom, everything from abundance of rain to lack of city sanitation budgets. But some of these zoonotic transmission, these jumps from rats to people, might be because we're eating more and more outdoors, causing there to be more food waste outside. So I don't usually voluntarily come to Times Square, but I feel like a jackass talking into the camera, and I figured there'd be other jackasses doing similar jackassy things here, so it fit. So in New York City, we have Norway rats, which despite their name actually come from northern China. The ones here in the city probably came from Great Britain or France as they expanded around the world in the 18th century. Scientists caught a bunch of these Norway rats around New York City and found out that they had a ton of pathogens. So our buddy leptospira, which causes leptospirosis, but also pathogens that cause diarrhea and fever in humans. The scariest sounding of all of them was a thing called Seoul hantavirus, which actually ended up causing a multi-state outbreak in 2016 here in the United States. I think about 11 or so folks ended up getting sick, but luckily all recovered.
Despite the disease risk, I wanted to get some footage of these, my fellow New Yorkers, so I went to a bunch of parks at night in search of rats. However, I struck out again and again. Finally, I headed to the Lower East Side, one of the most rat-infested areas of the city, according to the mayor, and I finally had some luck. I got this dark close-up of this adorable little disease vector, but he spooked, attacked my camera, and scampered off into the dark. Considering all the diseases like leptospirosis and tons of other bacteria and viruses that these little guys can spread, maybe that's for the best.
So it does go to show that New York City rats are not just the pizza-eating chums that occasionally go viral on YouTube or TikTok. They also have a kind of virality that's a bit more concerning.
Live your best life.
Alright guys, see you next time. I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Don't let it touch your shoe. Because they got diseases. Now I scared them all. Man, I really just hate Times Square.